The courtroom buzzed with murmurs as the bailiff called out, "All rise." Judge Whitmore, a man known for his arrogance and iron fist, entered with his signature smirk. Across the room, Maya Thompson, a young public defender, barely in her late 20s, stood beside her client. An elderly janitor named Mr. Leroy Davis, accused of stealing classified documents from a federal courthouse. Everyone whispered about her. She's in over her head, a rookie defending a criminal. But Maya didn't care. She believed in one thing: truth always finds its way to light. As the prosecutor, Elliot Crane, started presenting evidence, Maya noticed inconsistencies, timestamps that didn't match, security footage mysteriously missing, and a witness who avoided eye contact. When she objected, Judge Whitmore cut her off sharply. "Counselor, this court doesn't have time for your emotional theatrics. Sit down." Her heart pounded, but she stood firm. "Your Honor, something is wrong with this case." The judge leaned forward. "One more word, and I'll hold you in contempt." But Maya's voice trembled with conviction. "Okay, then hold me, because I won't stay silent while an innocent man suffers." The gavel slammed. "Bailiff, take her into custody." The courtroom gasped as two officers stepped forward. But just as they reached for her, the heavy oak doors swung open. A voice thundered, "Stop right there." Federal agents, FBI. Everyone froze. Two FBI agents in black suits entered the courtroom, badges flashing. The lead agent, Agent Carter Hayes, walked straight to the bench, handing Judge Whitmore a sealed envelope. "Judge, this case is now under federal review, effective immediately." Whitmore's confident smirk faded. "What is this nonsense? This is my courtroom." Agent Hayes stared him down. "Not anymore. We've uncovered evidence suggesting this entire case was fabricated." Maya's breath caught in her chest. "Fabricated?" The agent nodded toward her. "Miss Thompson, you were right to challenge the prosecution. The real documents were never stolen. They were planted." Gasps echoed across the room. Prosecutor Elliot Crane turned pale. "That's absurd. You have no proof." Agent Hayes turned toward the projector screen. "Actually, we do." He clicked a remote. The lights dimmed. On the screen appeared security footage, grainy but clear enough to show Crane himself entering the evidence locker at night, sliding a folder into Leroy Davis's maintenance cart. The crowd erupted. The judge's face went white. "Mr. Crane, is this true?" But Crane stammered. That's not me. Someone framed me." Agent Hayes crossed his arms. "Save it for your interrogation." Maya stood frozen, disbelief and relief mixing in her eyes. Her client, the old janitor, whispered, "Told you, ma'am. Truth don't hide forever." After the break, the courtroom was cleared for a private session. The FBI revealed the shocking depth of corruption. Agent Hayes explained, "This wasn't just a mistake. It's part of a network of people who've been fixing verdicts for profit, powerful names, even within the court." Maya clenched her fists. "Okay." And the judge, Hayes, hesitated. "That's what we're about to find out." When Judge Whitmore returned to the bench, his hands were shaking slightly. He tried to regain control. "Agent Hayes, this proceeding is over. You have no jurisdiction here." But Hayes placed another folder on the bench, marked confidential. Inside were wiretap transcripts and bank records. "Actually, Judge, Your Honor, you've been under investigation for 6 months." The room fell silent. Maya's jaw dropped. The very man who'd mocked her integrity was now being unmasked in front of everyone. Whitmore's gavel slipped from his hand. "You can't?" But before he could finish, Hayes spoke softly. "We can. And we already did." Two agents approached and placed the judge under arrest. The same bailiff who had grabbed Maya earlier now looked away in shame. As Whitmore was led out, his eyes met Maya's, a look of defeat and disbelief. For the first time, Maya didn't feel anger, just peace. Days later, the story exploded across national media. Corrupt judge arrested after young lawyer's defiance exposed the scandal. Maya became an overnight symbol of courage, but she didn't care about fame. She only cared that Leroy Davis was free. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed her. "Miss Thompson, did you ever imagine this would happen?" She smiled softly. "I only imagined doing what was right, even when it felt impossible." Leroy, standing beside her, nodded. "You've got fire in you, girl. Don't ever let this world dim it." The FBI later invited Maya to consult on federal investigations involving judicial misconduct. Her insight into moral courage made her invaluable. But when she visited the empty courtroom weeks later, she sat in the same chair where she once stood in handcuffs, remembering that moment of humiliation. It was proof that sometimes justice doesn't wear a robe. Sometimes it stands trembling but unbroken. Months later, Maya stood in a new courtroom, this time as a federal attorney. Her first case was protecting whistleblowers who dared to speak up against corruption. Before she began her argument, she looked around the room. The same wood panels, the same echo of authority, but it felt different. She whispered to herself, "Power isn't in the gavel, it's in the truth." At the end of the trial, she won again, not through anger or revenge, but through facts, heart, and fearlessness. As she left the courthouse that day, Agent Hayes was waiting by the steps, smiled. "Told you we'd need you again." She laughed softly. "Next time, just don't wait until I'm in handcuffs," he chuckled. "Deal." The camera pans out, showing the American flag fluttering over the courthouse, the city's skyline glowing gold in the distance, and Maya's voice echoes. "They tried to silence me in a courtroom of lies, but truth spoke louder than the gavel ever could."